Hello, children, and happy Easter. I hope you had a wonderful day on Sunday as we celebrated Easter Day. Did you get some lovely Easter eggs? I hope you did. Did you do some egg rolling in some strange and new imaginative way? Whatever you did, I hope you had a really joyful celebration of Easter Sunday because it is the most joyful day in our church life when we celebrate the great event that happened on the third day. And I'm going to tell you that story in a minute. I want to conclude the story because I said that I would do that. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit late. I think that you might be getting this a couple of days after Easter Sunday now. But you remember how we went through Holy Week and how Jesus entered Jerusalem on the donkey with the waving of palms and the singing Hosanna. And he went to the temple and he turned over the tables of the money changers and the pigeon sellers. And then Judas betrayed him to the people in charge of the temple, and they arrested him in the garden, and they took him and tried him. And Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor, ordered that he should be put to death, and he died on the cross. And then his body was taken down and was put in the tomb. Now, all of that was very dark and difficult, wasn't it? You imagine how his friends must have felt when they saw that the one that they loved and the one that they had hoped would be their great rescuer, the great king who would set them free from the power of the Roman Empire, when he died on the cross. How sad they were losing their beloved friend, and how sad that their hopes were ended. But then, listen to what happened next. And this part of the story is called The Happiest Day. You remember the last time I read it to you, it was about the Good Friday when Jesus died on the cross, and it was called the Saddest Day. Well, this is called The Happiest Day. It was early on Sunday morning. The women were going to Jesus' grave. They had spices to make it all smell nice. And then they got there, but where was the big heavy stone? Someone had rolled it away. The women went inside. They gasped, Jesus' body isn't here, it's gone. Then they saw a shining angel. Don't be afraid, the angel said. I know you are looking for Jesus, but he isn't here. God has brought him to life again. Just as Jesus said. Off you go now and tell his special friends. The women ran and ran. This was the happiest day ever. There's pictures of the women going to the tomb and then of the angel appearing to them. The women ran back and they burst into the room. He's alive! He's alive, they shouted. Jesus is alive. An angel told us. We went to the grave and his body wasn't there. The men shook their heads. That's just crazy, they said. But Peter and John went to see for themselves. John ran faster and got there first. When Peter caught up, John followed him inside. Jesus' body had been all wrapped up. A cloth had been tied round his head. No one had unwrapped him. The covers were all there, but the body had gone. That was how John knew. No one had taken the body away. Jesus was alive. Peter and John ran to tell the others. Mary Magdalene was the first to see Jesus. She was standing close to the grave when a voice said, "Why are you crying?" Her eyes were red and swollen. She couldn't make out who it was. Then the voice said, "Mary," and she knew it was Jesus. "Go and tell the others," Jesus said. And off she went, laughing and crying both at once. She was so happy. And there's Jesus appearing to Mary Magdalene. That night, Jesus came to see his special friends. They were in the room talking, and suddenly Jesus was there. They were very scared. They thought he was a ghost. "Don't be afraid," Jesus said. "Look, it's me. Touch me. I'm real." He even ate some supper. No one was frightened after that. It was the happiest day ever. All of them that were there, except Judas and Thomas. "I can't believe it was Jesus," said doubting Thomas when they told him. "I must see for myself where the nails went in. I must touch the place." The very next week, Jesus came again. "See where the nails went in," he said to Thomas. "You can touch the place." But Thomas didn't need to. "My Lord," he said, "and my God." After that, they went back home. One night, they went fishing on Lake Galilee, but they didn't catch anything. It was just getting light when someone called from the beach. "Have you caught any fish?" "No, not one," they said. It's the disciples fishing. Who do you think that is, standing on the shore calling to them? "Let down the net on the other side," said the man. And they caught so many fish the net almost broke. "It's Jesus," John said to Peter. Jesus had lit a fire, all ready for a picnic breakfast. He had fish and bread, and they brought more fish from the boat. After breakfast, Jesus talked to Peter. "I want you to take care of my friends." Peter was so pleased. He had let Jesus down on that dreadful night. But Jesus still loved him as his special friend. There's Jesus cooking breakfast for the disciples. And then there he is forgiving Peter and giving him the very special job to look after Jesus' special friends. So there we are, the happiest day, children. The disciples and Mary and the other women, they all thought that Jesus was dead, and they all thought that their adventure with him was over. But they went to the tomb and they found that it was empty, and Jesus appeared to them, and they could see that Jesus was alive again. God had raised him from the dead. And from that time on, they were filled with joy and courage and strength, and they went out into the world to tell the world that Jesus had risen from the dead because he was the Son of God. And that's what we still do today in the church. Still today, Jesus is with us, and we go out into the world to tell people that he's alive and that he is with us, and that when we turn to him in our prayers, he will help us. So, children, that's the great Easter story, and I pray that this Easter time has been a wonderful, joyful time for you. Don't forget that if ever things are feeling difficult and you're feeling a bit down, remember the disciples and Mary and the other women. Remember how they felt. And then they went and they found Jesus, and they were filled with strength and joy and courage again. And you can do that by going to him in your prayers. You can turn to him and ask him to help you, ask him to give you strength, and he will do that because he is risen. He is alive. God bless you, children. I've enjoyed telling this story for you, and can't wait to the time when we're able to meet again in person. God bless. Bye bye.